This is your favorite DJ Ntomboko Mahlabatolanda Nhle Umafuza Gufulele. And I welcome you to the segment here, Inside NUST. Remember, we segment here, Inside NUST, to bring you what happens here at NUST, and also I give you maybe what we offer at NUST and everything. So today we are having Nomagugu Mabhena from the library. How are you, ma'am?
I'm good, Shailene. Thank you. Thank you for having me this
And then she came here, she was like, she knows me. I'm so happy. So without wasting much of people's time, and they'll be like, hey, those one near time to Kuru. Can you please introduce yourself? Maybe Mina, I didn't actually introduce you the way you want me to introduce you. Pilabanya Balama, aka I'm Nomagugu Mabhena, aka the library. Do you hear me what I said? I said I'm Shailene Ntomboko. So maybe now you have the aka, you can actually introduce yourself.
All right. Good morning, listeners. My name is Miss Nomagugu Mabhena. I am the reference librarian at NUST and also the faculty liaison for the Faculty of Engineering.
Okay, so before you dive in, if you have anything to ask Nomagugu Mabhena, you can get in touch with us on 07848919902, 07848919902. That's our WhatsApp number here at NUST FM. On Facebook and on Instagram, it's at NUST.FM. On X, it's at NUST.FMZW. So, let's dive into. Let's first actually talk about what does the NUST Library offer before we dive into you being the reference of the library. Everything, like, what does the NUST Library do? Because I know there might be someone who actually didn't listen to the last program we had. There's someone they were like, maybe and didn't get the whole information that is needed, or the information, what am I supposed to carry and everything when I'm going to the library. So you just give me and then we dive into the conversation of the day.
All right, thank you so much, Shailene. So the NUST Library is there to support students, staff, researchers through their academic journey. So we are there to provide information and academic support throughout your college life or throughout your career within the university. So we, as the library, we mainly have two departments that we classify ourselves under. So we have the technical services, which is where we do our book processing. This is mostly behind the scenes. And then we have our reader services, which is like the outlook of the library, where you come in, you meet, when you enter, as you said, maybe for someone who's new into the library, usually you need your student ID, your staff ID. If it's, a patron from another institution, we'll need that, approved reader card, or your card from the other institution where you are. And also for staff members, we also require that you produce your staff ID. So when you get into the library, you will definitely go through the security checkpoint once you are there. So we do have different libraries located in the different parts of the city or different campuses as well. So we have the main library, which is situated in the CBD 114 4th Street, right in town, opposite Blair Center. Then we also have the NUST Medical School Library, which is situated at Bilo. We also have on campus, we have the Faculty of Built Environment Library, which is within the admin building, and we also have the GSBS library, which caters for graduate students within the campus, and specifically those who are in the graduate school program. And we have a new baby on the block that's coming up, which my colleague will be sharing more about next week. It's still, in its infancy, but we are pretty much excited about what's coming up.
Oh, okay. I'm also happy. I feel like wherever you are, you have actually got the right information. I remember last time when I was having another guest from the library, she mentioned Doguti, Yeah, from Google you can get information, but from the library you get the verified information. So yeah, when we talk about the library, I feel so happy because whenever you get a chance where you're going to be given books for free, you get a Wi-Fi to sit down and read. It's far much different than sitting at home and buying your airtime and searching.
Yes.
So many students are here about the reference services but may not really understand what is it. Could you tell us what the reference services actually means?
Okay, so reference service, as I said earlier, that we have two classifications. So reference service falls under reader services, where we are generally your customer consultant, or your customer service. This is really your front face of the library, where you're looking at. This is where you actually do your general inquiries. So you have staff manning our help desk, which where you have general questions. You're new in the library, you're not so familiar, you're seeing all these books that have these different classifications. How do I even start? Where do I even begin? This is where we are there just to help you understand how the library is structured, how you can find your books. We also do new registration. So currently our system is not in sync with the main student platform. So what happens is when a student is new to the library, they'll be required to come through and do their registration so that they can be able to check out books. So this is students and new staff members who need to register, and they update their library account. So this library account also, with that you're able to borrow books, and also you, as any member of the institution, or anyone from outside who's saying, maybe I'm on holiday, I'm from another institution, I need just to be researching, we have access to our online public access catalog, which we call our pack, which is to say you can be able via our library website to actually search which books are available on the in our collection. So when you've searched those, you're able to see, is it available for you to borrow? If you need to book it, maybe somebody has it currently and you're interested in borrowing it out, you can always have an idea of when the book will be available. And also we are encouraging patrons to independently be able to search the books or e-resources on their own. And then we also have staff and student clearance. So for example, you're about to graduate, you will be cleared. So in most cases we find maybe if a student is a library fine, they will not be cleared for graduation. So they will be required to come to the library, make sure they clear whatever fines they might have incurred during their duration of study. And also for staff members who are leaving the institution, they will be required. I've also been talking about approved readers. So these are users from institutions who wish to use the library facilities. So unfortunately they don't have borrowing rights, but at least they have the access to our online resources. They also have access to our spaces. So we do have a charge that we charge them, but in most cases, as I said, we have approved readers who are maybe public and private researchers, or also staff members and students from other institutions, or alumni. So they will be required to produce a letter from, if they're alumni, they will be required to produce a letter from the NUST Alumni Association office for them to be able to be assisted. And also lastly, as I said, we are the customer service of the library. So we encourage, if you have any suggestions, books that you'd love us to purchase, e-resources that you'd love the library to look into, please feel free to bring in your suggestions.
Okay, so why is this service so important, especially in a university setting like NUST?
All right, so as NUST, we are a research-driven university, and trust me, good research begins with having the knowledge, as you said, to have the right to, access to information. So in most cases, students struggle. Trust me, for any first year student, if you have to go back, imagine yourself first year, how you struggled transitioning from high school to university. So the library is there to make sure that in your academic transition, you are able to find, the information that is relevant to that assignment that you need to submit. So really the reference desk helps to bridge that gap where we teach students issues with, critical thinking. How do you look at the sources, the books, information that you're getting online, and how do you critically make informed and academic decisions?
Okay, so we're talking about how one actually adapt.
Mm-hmm.
It's very hard to adapt. I don't wanna lie. It's very, very hard to adapt. Imagine coming here as a part one, and you have to adapt to everything. You have to know where is the library. You have to know where is all the buildings here now. So I feel like it's very, very hard. So it's important to have people who say, this is what we offer at the NUST Library, and this is how things are done at the NUST Library. Okay, I get it. So who can access the help desk, and where is it located within the NUST Library?
Okay, so the help desk is really a desk that has been set up where it even has a sign on it to say help desk. So it's manned by different staff members. So it's in our lower reading room in the main library. So students or patrons can come and access it. And also we are available virtually. So it's not everyone that can come through to the library. We also have students that are, situated in different countries or other satellite campuses. So they are able to reach us through email, through our social media platforms. We also have WhatsApp, so they can be, send a message through WhatsApp and we could be able to assist them. And then also we have the library website. It has a chatbot there. So you see at the bottom right hand corner where it says chat with us, you can be able to ask your question, and somebody who will be on that desk will be able to assist you.
Okay, so what advice would you give to students who feel intimidated about approaching the help desk? It's very hard. Just imagine you're walking there and you feel like, or maybe it's a he or it's a she. Are they going to listen to me? I know that fear that one has inside their hearts. What advice would you want to give to such students?
I'll say, please don't feel intimidated. We are there to serve you. We are there to help you in your academic journey. And really, as librarians, we take pride in making sure that we support you in every way. We might look intimidating, but really we are service oriented, and as librarians we look at, really our thrust is looking at the 5 laws of what we call library science, where really our main aim is to make sure that we save time. One of them is save the time of the reader. So we want you to be able to access the information at the efficient service at a very convenient time for you.
Okay, Mlele, I hope you actually had, and I hope you're listening. Right now we're going to actually take a short break. But before the short break, I know someone might be saying, I have questions to ask, and you can actually get in touch with us on 078489190 078489190. And then on Facebook, on Instagram, it's at NUST.FM, my X at NUST.FMZW. Yeah, Mlele, right now I want you to enjoy a song from Kelvin Mangera featuring Chillmaster Eti Kona Kona Nyavuma.
Made it. Mangwana wena ungenza ngiphelele ngama ngiyavuma wentombi ngiyavuma mabebes ngiyavuma wentombi ngiyavuma ubuhle bakho ntombi bangiceda ngiyavuma 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 Jambo na wena luti vum vum uthando lwami luti dum dum lujulile 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 lujulile
Anna wakuziva yakawira kare in the hoods ozondivarira panze amwenda kagaya ndiri pambed kangobatika ichibva yapera ndapfuma aiwa ndapfuma sweet love my mwana kana ukangondida ndakutokuda toenda mberi I do believe kuti hakuna kaita semi changodiwa mami kusvika ndisisa femi ndapfuma emestia
yavuma anduwezangwa yavuma 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 andubusebako yavuma ukongonge maitale wanobe wasuthi wenu makondana wami ukongonge maitale wenu wami wenu wami wenu wami wenu wami wenu wami wenu wami nyaishayela ngawe ka nyaifela ngawe
That was a lovely song, a song from Kelvin Mangena featuring Killmaster Eti Kona Kona Nyavuma Dal. And welcome back to the Inside NUST segment. We are with me, I'm having Nomagugu Mabhena, and we are actually discussing about NUST Librarian's reference services. And she talked about the help desk that most of the people actually feel so imitated with should I go on, shouldn't I go with those people, maybe they're going to judge me. And she said feel free, they are there to save you. So yeah, without wasting much of our time, let's actually dive in back to the conversation of the day. So Noma, what is the information in AI literacy and why is it important? Could you explain what is it and how the library promotes it?
Okay, so as part of our mandate in the reference section and as well as the library in general, information literacy is the ability to locate, evaluate, and use information effectively and ethically. So it's about developing information literate graduates. So I would say it's one of the soft skills that people are required to have currently. Looking at the vast information that is available online, you need to be able to, search and come out with maybe as professionals, as researchers in your career, you really need the skill. So not only when you thrive in your academic journey, but you also thrive in the professional space as well. So it's a very, very critical element. And AI literacy, we're looking at the competencies that are needed to understand, critically evaluate, and effectively use AI. So AI, in this case, we're looking at your large language models, which a lot of you know, your ChatGPTs, your Meta, Copilot, just to mention a few. So we are there just to make sure that you are using these AI tools ethically, and also making sure you gain the critical skill in understanding how they work, how AI platforms work, and evaluating the AI-generated content. I think if you're a researcher or if you're any student, you realize that there's a lot of information that's out there, and it's not always information that is produced that is authentic. So as the library, we're there to make sure, there is that accuracy, and you're able to communicate, be able to prompt. When you have that assignment, we're not shying away from it, but we are saying you should be able to have your prompt done right. And really, AI is there just to help you in terms of mind mapping. You have your assignment, you have your research that you're working on, or your dissertation that you're working on. It is a very good tool to actually use when you're mind mapping, when trying to design, okay, how do I, do my introduction? Who are the scholars that have written some of these things? And also just to try and shield you to more research-oriented AI tools. For example, NUST, I think maybe for those who were there last week, when Ms. Zondo was here, she spoke about Site AI, which is one of our paid AI tools that then the university subscribes to, and we encourage students to use that one because it's really looking at research. So we're there to make sure that you effectively, use information. Thank you.
Okay, so we oftenly hear about library offering information literacy sessions. Could you tell us more about those?
Okay, so here at NUST we run the orientation. So beginning of your university journey, right between registration and verification of documents that week. There is a tailor-made session for students to actually understand how the library functions, where do you find the library, what are the resources that are available, physical and virtually. So the library orientation is often done to first-year students or freshmen, either undergraduate or graduate students. And then in between or during the course of your study, we have what we call the information literacy and the AI workshop. So generally, we are trying to encourage students to sign up, attend, especially for our first-year students. I think we had this conversation earlier about, how you transition. So attending these information literacy workshops kind of opens up your mind to say, okay, how do I structure my assignment? How do, I bring in my arguments? And how do I make sure that within my academic coursework, I'm not plagiarizing, and also, for example, even at NUST, just to give you another context, which we have, for example, for our biomedical science students at Impilo, so they actually have the information literacy skills embedded within their IT module, so it's actually examinable. So hopefully we'll be able to have that in all faculties where students will be able to be examined, because that's also one of the requirements when you're looking at accreditation of programs. So as part of the accreditation process, students will be required to take these literacy training workshops.
So how can students sign up or participate in these trainings? Because some they'll be having lectures and so how can they actually sign up and go for the training, or is it online?
Okay, so we on our website we do have an online course that has been put on the website, which is a self-paced course that a student or a researcher can go through. But we also have within the library we have faculty librarians. So all our faculties have a library liaison who is trained to assist you, or who is trained to train students on how to on the ILS training program or the ILS training module. So I would encourage students, if you have not undergone that, if it's something of interest to you, please liaise with your class rep and also get in touch with the faculty liaison, and they'll make sure that they request for a slot. So it either can be in person, it can be virtual, it can be also just creating a WhatsApp group, and then we take you through and have a conversation. Really, I think just a couple of weeks ago, I had Part 5 students in the engineering program who are already writing their dissertations. So it's something that's very critical. So if you think, I think I might need help here, please feel free, get in touch. As I said, we have the help desk We'll be able to connect you with the relevant person to get in touch with. They'll be able to assist you. So we are there to serve.
Okay, so how can students or lecturers give feedback about or suggestions about library services?
Okay, so as I highlighted earlier, we do have, we are available in person and virtually. So if patrons will go to the library website, which is library.nust.ac.zw, you will find a slot under where you can search. There is a suggestion tab where you can put in your suggestion. It could be a book or it could be service support that you need. We also are available on WhatsApp as well. I'll give our WhatsApp number as well at the end. We also have our library chatbot on the website, which they could make use of, and also they are also welcome to send through an email. They can email to us if you're flexible with email, or also follow us on our social media platforms, and feel free to inbox and send us some of the suggestions that they have.
Okay. So what message do you have for NUST students and staff about using the reference desk and help desk?
I'd say, please don't struggle alone. We are there. I always jokingly say to students to say, do you know that part of your fees has a library fee?
Yeah.
Yes,
it's very painful to be told that. It's very, very painful. At some point of time, you feel like maybe someone maybe is trying to make fun of you. But when you go and sit down and you look at it, you wonder, that person was telling the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Also, 7 Zimen, you remember that person that person was actually telling the truth. So how can listeners contact or visit the reference desk?
Okay, so in terms of visiting us, as I said, we have a specific desk within the library, within the main library, so they are free to come in. As I said, you need to bring in the right documentation or the right ID for you to be able to access the help desk. So there's always somebody manning the help desk. And also you are also free to reach out to any of our library staff on the other satellite libraries that we have, either at Mbilo, at FOB, GSB. Somebody will always be there to assist you. And then we also have our WhatsApp number. I can share that with everyone. It's 0784 937 111. I'll repeat that again. 0784 493 111. And then also for our email, you can email us library@nust.ac.zw. As I said, we also have our library website chatbot where they can be able to get in touch with us. If you are live on the website, you are welcome to send us a message. And then also our social media platforms. We are NUST Library Zimbabwe, and also on Facebook and on X.
Okay, so what are your operating hours or your best times to visit?
Okay, so the library operates in 2 seasons, where we have when students are in session. So this is during the semester. The library is open from 9 a.m. to 9 from Monday to Thursday. We are open from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. So people are welcome. So that desk is manned during that course of our operating hours. And then Friday, Saturday, we are also open from 9 to 4 p.m. As I said, also they're free also to reach out. You don't necessarily have to come to the main library. They can also, consult our satellite branches. They will operate differently. I think for those on campus, for the FOB library, they are open from 9 to 8 p.m. Mondays and Wednesdays, and then they're also open on the weekends as well. The same with Bilo.
Okay, so thank you so much, Madam Noma, for placing me today. That's all the time that we have for Inside NUST today, and I hope actually you grabbed something. And as a student, I'm expecting you. Today it's Tuesday.
Yes, it's Tuesday.
So you have a lot of time to plan and think before the help desk gets to be closed. Because remember, I'm not saying it's going to be closed totally, no, but I'm trying to say is, remember, the time is moving. Time is money. Time is ticking. We are up until you're now pressured to actually learn how to use all the AI and everything. And then, and you're just now a part 4 and you have to write your dissertation and now running up to ma'am, I'm here to have the sections about AI. So you see, it will be too exhausting for now because you have to learn at the same time. You have to go and sit down and write your dissertation. So let's use the time that we have. As long as you're not having lessons, go to the library. Because I love the fact that Noma mentioned the issue of the fees that you pay. There's a certain amount of money that goes to the library. And if you're not going to use that money, who is going to use that money for you as a student? So use your money and use your fees carefully. I mean, if I get sick, I don't hesitate to take my medical card. Even if it's not needed. So let's use our things carefully. So thank you so much, Ma'am Noma, for actually blessing me today. And I hope all students, wherever they actually go and visit the library and get to be helped. I know some about but she said you mustn't be scared. Go there and get the right information. Yeah, I know the big books are scary, but you can be helped. I know you're from this faculty. This is the section that you can actually be seated, and these are the books that you can actually get the information that you are looking for. So they are there to help you, not to say stay blessed wherever you are.